Good morning. Today I thought we deserve a quiet, calm, almost restorative day or class. And I know several of you told me that you give yourself either Friday off or that you wouldn't mind it. It'd be a little easier, nice way going into the long weekend. Today I'm reading from a book I got years ago in San Francisco called The Daily Om. And I had hoped it would be a short reading every day for our class, but I found that it's quite long. So today I'm going to use it as a Shavasana for you. And today's reading is called The Potential of Growth, Seeds for Living. When we look at it, first I'd love you to get relaxed and comfortable on your bed, on your floor or your mat, wherever you find relaxing. And if you're in your living room, maybe you're lying on your couch. When we look at a giant sequoia tree, it's hard to imagine that it grew from a tiny seed no bigger than a flake or of oatmeal. Conversely, to hold such a small thing as a seed in our hands and comprehend that contained within it is a blueprint for an entire forest of trees that will surpass the human lifespan by centuries is enough to stun the mind into silence. As tiny as that seed is, we are somehow even more so. Yet we are grown seeds in our own right, originating in our mother's wombs in a form too small to be seen with the naked eye. I think I read you could fit a couple of human eggs in the dot of an eye in a printed book. Imbued with the same miraculous life force as a sequoia or a large big pine tree. We drop our own seeds in the form of children or creative projects, doesn't have to be a biological child, which go on after we pass from this earth. And a part of us continues with them. And I feel like some people are concerned with leaving a legacy, whether it's through their work or their art, or maybe even how they restored their home. The environment in which the seed grows also influences them. A tree on a windswept mountain will have longer branches in the direction that the wind blows. A house plant will grow towards the window where the light comes in. The type of plant is grown is in the seed, but the shape it takes is due to the environment. Similarly, we are the products of both our genetic material and the sort of nurturing we received during our childhood. At the same time, we're always in the process of growth. Now it is up to us to provide the right surroundings for ourselves. I always joke that there should be a 25 rule. Up until almost age 25, your life's path and everything that's happened to you is often a product of your environment or your family or your genetics or all of the above. But after 25, if something's not working for you and you're not flourishing or growing, I feel like it's kind of your job to stop blaming your childhood and move forward. And if that means getting therapy, changing your family, for some people that might mean distancing yourself from your family, changing your job, whatever it is you need to change to do better. Maybe you had an awesome first 25 years and this is a moot discussion, a moot point. Now it's up to us to provide the right surroundings for ourselves. A lovely ritual to perform is an act of self-love. It's to plant a bulb or a seed in a pot and allow it to be a symbol of your intention to nurture yourself. Remember that you were once smaller than that tiny seed. Honor how amazing you are to have gotten as far as you have. Plant a piece of paper in that soil stating your intention to provide yourself with everything you need to continue to grow strong and beautiful. Each time you water the seed, talk to it or move it to a more beneficial location. You are honoring and fostering your own expansion. And I like how simple that is. Sometimes doing the work on ourselves can be overwhelming, or maybe it costs a lot of money to get therapy, so it's not in the books, or maybe you're not surrounded by people who are nurturing. This piece of news or homework to plant your own seed is doable, it's small. I'd like you to lie down on your mat. We'll do a little bit of floor work, and then we'll also do an exceptionally long Shavasana. Maybe we'll do like our Yoga Nidra, 61 body point check. And so there won't be a lot of upright action today, but gentle relaxation. Before we lie down, let's sit up nice and straight. I'll move further back so you can see me. And I'm gonna notice how I sat today. Did I sit down effortlessly, or was it a lot of work to get on the floor? That can be part of what the journey is gonna happen in the mat this morning, your practice. For me, I automatically crossed my dominant leg in front of my non-dominant leg. I came into this pose without even thinking about it, because this is what we've done since we were in kindergarten. I'm gonna take my arms to the side, fingers tented, press into the floor so that I can grow tall in the front and the back of my body. It's a little more work than when you're standing in mountain, but it's more intentional. Maybe close your eyes, engage your core, and can you sit up straighter? Picture that perfect posture your parents would have wanted. We're all in like a finishing school. You could even place a book on your head if you want. So I'm going to resist the floor, upright my chest, maybe start to walk my hands further back so I can stand even taller in my chest. Close your eyes. Think of the most serene, beautiful place you would love to be right now. Maybe it's here, maybe you're already there. The sits bones root down into the floor, taking the place of my feet if I were in a standing mountain pose. Reach out through those chest, so the breastbones and the front rib cage. Shoulders roll back to help this. Maybe you walk your hands even further back. Take a big breath here. My head is neutral. Maybe just look up slightly with your eyes closed, just tilting a little, creating that curve in your neck. We'll take 3 breaths here. It feels tight and unfamiliar because we usually slump forward. I'm going to generalize. Inhale and exhale. Can you soften somewhere as you breathe out? And as you inhale, maybe imagine you're breathing your favorite scent, whether it's in the kitchen, like homemade bread or pizza, or maybe it's a most beautiful flower. I saw that Bath & Body Works has a peony flower now, and that is probably one of my favorite flowers ever. Unfortunately, their lifespan is so short. Their season is short, but they're so luscious and fertile looking and so many layers, and I don't know anybody who doesn't think it's beautiful. One more breath, drawing the shoulder blades together, almost like you're exaggerating, puffing up your chest. Maybe look a little further up with your eyes closed. And then release. I'm gonna switch non-dominant leg in front of dominant. Inhale, arms up. Lengthen through those hands, and as I look up, I feel a stretching all the way down to my tailbone, that back rib cage meat. Why don't we do a couple arm versions of our sun salutation? So inhale up, look up, exhale, fold, swan dive. Half back, fold, arms to the side wide, and bring them down the center and heart center. We'll do that 4 more times. Inhaling up, exhale, fold, swan dive. Half back, still with my tented fingers, fold. Arms to the side wide, and down in the center in your heart. Thumbs press into sternum. That's 2. We're gonna do 3 more. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Half back, fold. Arms to the side wide, heart center. 3, I think, I probably lost count. 2 more. Inhaling up, maybe even look up. Exhale, fold, swan dive. Half back, fold. Arms to the side wide, heart center. 4. And one more time. This is helping our breath and getting the blood flow going. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Half back, fold, arms to the side wide, and rest at heart center. Thumbs press into your sternum. Let's bow our head for a moment. Tiny stretch in the back of the neck. 2 breaths here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale. And then palms on your thighs. I'm going to switch my legs one more time, or bring them up into staff pose, Dandasana. Legs in front of me. Let's see if we can take 5 breath rounds here. Even though it's a little uncomfortable, it's a passive hamstring stretch, which will help us later in our practice. Hands are on my thighs, sitting up nice and straight, shoulders back. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale. And inhale 4. Exhale. Last one. Inhale 5. And exhale. Soften within this shape. Let's come onto our back, coming into constructive rest. Bum towards your heels. And slowly lower all the way down. Oh, that feels good. Checking with the hardness of the floor, pressing against your tailbone. take our arms by our side, pretty close to your body, soft 45 degrees, palms turned up. And last night, I noticed always my dominant side, lower back starts to hurt. And I think it's part of the sciatic nerve. And I think it's from sitting at a right angle, whether it's around the pool or with my son watching TV. So guess what I did? I clenched my bum, I engaged my glutes and lower back. I held it for a few seconds and I let it go. I did this 3 times. The pain dissipated. It reminded me that in our practice when we were together, we did bridge every single class, and I've somehow lost that piece. So let's do a little bit of bridge to help bring some blood flow to our lower back before we begin our practice. Feet pressed down, squeeze your bum together like you're clenching something, and lift your bum 1 or 2 inches. And let's just stay here. 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, squeeze your bum a little higher, maybe lift it even higher, you haven't come down yet. And exhale all the way down. Soften. What do you notice about your back when you let go of that clenched bum or clenched lower back? We're gonna do it 2 more times. My knuckles are heavy on the floor. Your fingers might be softly curled. Squeeze your bum, inhale up. 2 breaths. Exhale, but don't come down. Once more, inhale. Exhale all the way down. And release. And 1 more time. Squeeze your bum, lift your hips. You don't have to go into full bridge. Squeeze your thighs together. So that squeezing sensation, the isometric pressure is going from my bum, inner thigh, pelvis, all the way to my inner knees. And exhale all the way down. Walk your bum close to your heels, bring your thighs together. So now my arches, inner thighs, knees are touching. We're gonna take 2 breaths here in this constructive rest. So it's almost like you're tightly pushed together into this shape. We sometimes change the parameters of a shape in our yoga class. And that brings your mind completely to the moment. When it's not automatic and you don't anticipate what it's gonna feel like and it feels different, that's another form of mindfulness. Press the thighs together, engage the lower back, engage the belly and abdomen, and press your back into the floor. What happens to that place behind the heart? Maybe you need to move your arms a little wider and press the place behind the heart into the floor. We'll take a few breaths here and notice that contrast of effortless breath in and out, but tightness of the body pressed into this shape. And then we'll heel to our feet as wide as the mat. Let's take 2 breaths here. And while we keep changing the shape of our body to notice our breath, you might notice that one feels better than the other. So maybe that becomes your constructed rest. Each of us have different body shapes that match what we talked about earlier, our different biology and our different environment that we grew up in. Even our different ages is going to change how our body feels in a pose. If I'm 30, it's going to feel different than I'm 40, then different if I'm 70. Still the same pose, but the life pieces that led me to that pose are going to be different in my body, my physical manifestation. What I'm enjoying working with women is that it doesn't matter whether you're newborn or 80, every moment of every day your body is changing. I remember one time Yana was explaining to me that she doesn't fear the passage of being a mother and all these other things because each stage of your life has a different benefit to it and its purpose. And unfortunately, we live in a world that talks quite negatively about menopause and then moving towards a word I don't like, the crone stage, which is an archetype in human development and in literature. But if you can find the goodness in each stage that your body's moving towards, we won't fear this aging piece that we have no control over. Let's move our knees wide, so walk them wide and let them flop to the right. And just notice what's happening in your left hip and thigh today. Was that easy? Is it delicious? Or is your body resisting this mini windshield wiper? Back to center, knees to the left. Oh, I'm noticing a huge contrast in one side versus the other. Back to center, knees wide to the right. Can they go a little lower than when you began? Like beautiful mermaid lady. Close your eyes. You want to feel this inside your body. It doesn't matter what it looks like. And knees to the left. What does that feel like? Let's come back to center, knees upright. Soles of the feet together. Knees fall wide. And notice, is this effortless? Does it feel good and comforting? Or is there a lot of resistance in your inner thighs, hips? You might hold your hands on your actual abdomen where reproductive organs maybe are or would have been. Give a little heat and love to that part of the body that makes us different than men. And if you're a man doing this class with me, you also have organs here, so get some love onto your abdomen. And then wave your hands up to your belly. Send some love to your digestive organs, the piece of our body that for some people it plagues them, for others it's a source of joy to be able to use the food that you need, take what you need, the nutrients, and then your body lets go of what you're not needing. It's kind of fascinating. And then we're going to move my hands up to my heart so they can be stacked or they can be on top of each other. And feel the heat. So there's a lot of bone that protects our heart. It's kind of like the hardness of the world is separating us from our emotions. So for a moment, close your eyes. Next breath in. Imagine that you could pour happiness, love, all these positive, warm, fuzzy rainbow and unicorn feelings through the bone into your heart, to yourself. And then we'll take our hands to our throat. I don't want you to feel like you're suffocating yourself, but I'm going to just put one hand, I feel the warmth of it. Maybe tilt your head back, the other hand on top of it. Send yourself some love for the speaking that you do or the things you should say. If you're feeling like you can't speak out, give yourself some support. And thankfulness that we have a voice, and each of our voices is so individual, like a fingerprint. And then maybe I'll take my last section, I'll take my hand onto my forehead, my intuition, the other hand on top. And just take a pause here, feeling the heat of your own hand. Thanking yourself for the wisdom that you have. Some of it's biological and some of it has been gained through your life and your family and your friends and your experience. And guess what? At the very end, above my head, I'm imagining my crown open. I'm open for more wisdom, more experience, more. Whenever you talk about a spiritual human, there's often an opening shown in the body because it shows that there's still space for more. Just like a heart, there's still space for more. And then come back into, this time, cactus arms. If your hips are okay here, leave the knees open. If they're uncomfortable, close your thighs. And now we're into reclined goddess. Even if you are a male, we are also practicing this pose. You could call it reclined god for yourself. And not that you're a spiritual deity, but that you are amazing and powerful. This pose is another open pose. In the animal world, this is a vulnerable position to be at, belly exposed, but you are opened to whatever the weekend's going to bring to you. Hopefully happiness, sunny, gorgeous weather, something relaxing or joyful. And even if you're retired, long weekends still are special in our culture. Oh, and then close your legs. Notice if there's discomfort. Maybe walk your feet as wide as the mat and let your thighs lean in towards each other, supporting each other. Thighs and knees supported. I almost feel like there's a zipper between my thighs pushing together and my knees pushing together. Arms low, 45 again. Palms turned up. And let's take 3 breaths here. While your body's seemingly doing nothing, once more come back to that contrast. My hard tailbone is pressing into the floor, and the base of the back of my head is also hard, pressing into the floor. In between is this lightness, almost like a bridge. I'm not pressing my lower back down.
and then back to center. Let's bring right leg to chest. Leave your left foot bent on the floor. Maybe rock just one knee side to side, almost like half of a little boat, so that you're able to bring that right thigh in very close. Move around your body till the thigh can maybe come towards the belly. If my knee is the challenge, I'm going to lift my leg in the air, bring my hands behind the thigh, relax the ankle. And then place that right foot on the floor, back in line with the knee and the hip. Left thigh in. Your hands are either interlaced on the shin, you're pulling it in. Maybe rock side to side so you can get it in closer. Option to bring the hands behind the thigh. Bring that in closer. And then release. Actually bring both knees to chest, rocking side to side, little boat. I'm always looking for the rhythm. Human nature is drawn to rhythm, whether it's dance, music, a sound in the wild. The only rhythm I'm not enjoying is the sound of people's yard care tools. I know they're a means to an end. Let's take our knees to the floor on the left. Left hand's going to take that right knee on the stack and then slowly release your shoulder to the floor. I'm noticing there's a big gap behind my heart today, so I'm not going to force it. And just enjoy the sensation. For me, there's a tiny stretch behind my back. That diagonal stretch as the shoulder wants to come to the floor without kind of disrupting this stack of knees. And then help yourself come back to center, little boat. Let's take left thigh in, actually both knees in, little boat. Softly bringing those thighs in closer, or hands behind your knees if that feels better. Then I'm going to take my knees to the floor on the right. Right hand's going to help the knees come to the floor, left shoulder's going to land, and I want you to notice the resistance in your body. That's part of the process. Left-handed friends, this is probably your dominant side, so maybe you feel a difference on the side. And then help yourself come back to center, little boat or circles. I would like you to grab, if it's not too far, I have a rolled up blanket instead of my bolster here. You might grab a rolled up towel or another rolled up mat or a pillow off your couch. So we're going to do a supported single leg, wind relieving pose, single leg spinal twist. So right leg in tight. I'm going to keep my left foot bent on the floor initially. Shoulders squared off. Can you press that place behind your heart into the floor as you draw the thigh in? Remembering you can come behind the thigh if this hurts your knee. Single leg wind relieving pose. Your choice. Left foot stays bent, stacked under the knee, or slide it straight. And again, move around till you find a place where you can find stillness and this feels good in your body. And some days I like to point my feet in this pose, stretching the front of my body and the hip. Other days I like to flex, activating my feet and my leg muscles. Or both. Two more breaths, whichever variation feels good in your hips here. Gently lift your chin slightly to the ceiling. We want to create the arc in the neck so you can have a better breath for a moment. And then left hand takes right knee over, single leg spinal twist. I'm coming to my rolled blanket so that it's not so much work in my body. Shoulders are heavy. It's irrelevant how far over this knee comes, so don't crank on your body, be kind. Maybe even come your arms to 45, T, or cactus. And once more, notice the hesitation or resistance in this twist. Let's take 3 breaths here and see if your body wants to twist a little deeper when you let go. Back to center, little boat, or side to side. Let's draw left leg in, right foot lands. Keep the foot on the mat initially, pressing that place behind the heart into the floor as you draw the left thigh in. 2 breaths here. Option to keep your hands on the shin or behind your thigh, whatever feels better in your knee and hip. So you have a choice. Keep that right foot stacked, just pressing into the floor, knee and ankle are in alignment, or slide that right leg straight, softly pointing the foot or flexing. More breaths here. Then take your bolster or pillow, whatever you've chosen, to the right side so that when we do our single leg spinal twist, we come to something. Right hand takes left knee over. My left shoulder's nice and heavy. Resist that urge to crank on your body with the right hand. So maybe come into cactus or T. 3 more breaths. Our body is constantly doing this dance. I want to let go, but I feel the resistance. It's important to see both. And then slowly back to center. Thighs to chest, little boat or circles. Let's take our knees back into our chest, whether it's hands behind the thighs or on the knees. And as you're bringing those thighs close together, can you gather the thighs into the belly? Hands on the knees, let's help them fall wide. Let's see what that looks like today in a non-strenuous class. My hands are supporting my knees, the floor is supporting my back and hips and shoulders. I'm just going to let the legs fall wide and see where they go. And your mind's eye zeroing in on the area of tension or resistance in your hips right now. Imagining your breath could soften that area. So you can stay here or Take your hands behind your thighs, coming into setup for happy baby. Maybe you pull the thighs towards your side body because that feels good. Maybe your feet are floppy, or maybe they're flexed, ankles over knees, setting up for happy baby. Your choice, stay here for 2 more breaths, or coming into full happy baby. Oh, that's too tight today, so I'm gonna hold my ankles instead. Lift your chest, your chin 1 or 2 inches up towards the ceiling. Create that open airway for deeper breath. 2 more. Feet are soft or flexed. 2 more breaths. And then guiding the soles of the feet together. Option to bind if you're reaching, or hold your ankles. And then releasing your feet to the mat. Soles together like we did at the beginning. Recline cobbler or bound angle. Maybe massage your hip flexors so that your body receives this pose a little more easily. And then arms into cactus for reclined goddess. Two more breaths. Closing your legs. Walk your feet as wide as the mat once more. So now thighs and knees lean in towards each other in the center. Our last piece we're going to do is I will do the 61-point body check off, and that's a guided shavasana essentially. And so you can say lying down on the floor, I'm going to roll to come up. I want you to be comfortable. I'm going to grab my script because I want to make sure that I touch all the pieces. What I like about this one, I have a couple different scripts, is it really takes my mind to parts of the body that I sometimes might forget. So if your lower back is sore, you're going to bend your knees, or put a blanket underneath your knees. But for the most part, you're lying down in corpse pose. Arms not super wide, palms are turned up. Take your first breath in towards, imagine you're breathing in towards the place between your eyebrows. Big breath in. And exhale through the nose, soften any reactions or emotions in your face if that's possible. Maybe even add a little smile or separate your teeth. Inhale, big breath in through the nose. And as you exhale through the nose slowly, imagine you could relax your throat. Take your thoughts there. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, think about your right shoulder, heavy and relaxed. And then I visualize drawing a soft line around the outline of my actual physical body. That line continues down to right elbow. Exhale. Down to the right wrist. Relax. Right thumb. Relax. Right index finger. Relax. Right middle finger. Relax. Down to the right ring finger. Relax. And finally the baby finger or pinky. Relax the whole hand, palms turned up. Taking that imaginary line to the inner right wrist. Relax. Inner right elbow. Relax. And back up to your right shoulder. Next breath in, think about your throat once more, that place of truth in the body. Exhale through the nose, soften everything. Taking your thought over to the left outer shoulder. Relax both shoulders. This imaginary line continues down to the left elbow, outer elbow. Relax. Down to the left wrist. Relax. Left thumb. Left pointer finger. Left middle finger, left ring finger, relax, and to the baby finger, relax. Coming to the inner left wrist, this imaginary line then continues to the inner left elbow, relax the whole arm, left shoulder, and back to the throat. Think about the next breath coming directed towards the heart center, relax the whole shoulder and torso. Left chest, and back to heart center.
right chest, and back to heart center. We draw an imaginary line down to the navel or belly button. Relax. Down to the pubic bone. Relax. And now over to the outer right hip. Relax the whole pelvis. Down to the right knee. And this imaginary line continues down to your outright ankle. Relax. Right big toe. Right second toe. Right third toe. Right fourth toe. And finally relaxing the right fifth toe. The ankle is relaxed and it might flop outwards, that foot. Coming to the inner right ankle and then up to the inner right knee. Relax. Back up to the right hip bone. Relax. And back to the center or pubic bone. Relax the whole hip structure. Back to the left hip, outer left hip, relax. Outer left knee, relax. Left ankle, left big toe, left second toe, left third toe, left fourth toe, relax, and left fifth toe, relax. Finally coming up to the left ankle, relax, and up to the left knee. Inner knee, relax. Up to the left hip, relax. And finally landing at the pubic bone. So imagine the whole hip is relaxed and the ankles might flop outwards. This imaginary line of relaxation comes back up to the belly button or the navel, up to the heart, up to the throat, and finally landing back on that spot between your eyebrows. Some people call them the third eye, the place of intuition in our body and our mind. Thank you so much for your effort this morning. You can choose to gently start to move things, rocking your head softly side to side or your feet. You might start to notice your breath and have to come back to longer inhale, exhales than when you kind of drifted off. Softly blinking your eyes. And maybe gently bringing your knees towards your chest, coming back into that fetal position on your back. Slowly roll onto your right side and take a few breaths here in this side fetal position. Feeling relaxed and energized at the same time, knowing you're ready for whatever the weekend throws your way. Thank you so much for your effort. The good in me sees the good in you. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.